looks like. Hello, YouTube! No, I'm just kidding. Is it really recording though? Mm-hmm. All right, hey, this is Dan. I am the Six-Figure Couch Surfer, the guy who published a video prior to this on being 30 years old plus and joining the United States military. I received quite a few comments from the last video. I'm sorry that I didn't actually look at the comments until just a couple weeks ago. So it's been about 4 months since I posted it. And I received a lot of feedback, which was super encouraging. A lot of people asking me to please post another video and talk a little bit more about my experience. So I just want to say thank you for viewing it. Thank you for the messages, and to like the 10 or 20 of you who actually joined the military. Not because of that video solely, but you had told me that it helped make the decision. I'm really stoked for you. And just thanks for offering me that encouragement. I don't feel like the only person who's this old who joined. So I'm 33 years old right now. I just had my birthday. I was in basic training at 32. One of you asked me, why is my handle Six-Figure Couch Surfer? So I'll be brief. I'll make another video about that later. So I'm an entrepreneur, a guy who started his own company before I joined the Army. Essentially, I had developed a company that worked with artificial intelligence and human genetics. So the cross-section of those two industries. And the title Six-Figure Couch Surfer came from a book that I wrote about my story, what it was like to leave the corporate world, to go start my own company, and then to just, well, make money. I essentially tripled my income or quadrupled it within a matter of months. I can definitely go into how I developed that business pipeline. It'd be really fun to talk about that. But I decided to join the military because I noticed that as I was making money as an entrepreneur, as a remote worker from home, I didn't have any coworkers, no roommates. It was a very isolated, remote life. I wanted to be part of a team, and being in the military was a way for me to scratch an itch that I've had for probably a decade. So I decided to just jump into it since I was coming up to that age restriction. And then after I get out, however long that is, I can go back into being an entrepreneur, go back into creating my own business. Because as I'm sure a lot of you know, once you start your own business, you kind of have, it's like riding a bike. You have the muscle memory there. So I'm not worried about losing it. But again, I'll talk to you more about that in another video if you want. So that's why, to one of the users, you had asked me specifically what's up with that name. So now you know. Currently I'm in Fort Leonard Wood. I'm in my awesome little apartment. You can pan around and take a look. My friend is behind the camera right now. But essentially, I'm snowbirding, as they say, waiting for Bullock to start. So I'm going to be an engineer. I graduated OCS, and I had chosen my number one selection was engineer. I think I finished about number 12 or 15 or something in the class, which was way better than I thought. Funny story, I was actually ranked number 160 out of 160. It was a fluke, but like for about a month, people were coming up to me like, dude, you should be scared because the Army's going to give you like the worst possible job, which, I mean, really, there's no terrible job. So if you guys want me to talk to you more about the OML situation and all of that, if you are coming in through OCS, you're not guaranteed a job. You do have to compete for your jobs. I can talk more about that, but essentially, just the quick update is that I'm waiting for the engineering school to start. So I have a few more weeks here. We basically are doing details here and there on base. Tonight we're going to go to an event where we volunteer with an elementary school for the holidays. So it's actually not a terrible situation. You get to work out a lot. We do get paid. There's information you guys will probably be interested in regarding PCSing and the money that the Army gives you for travel and all of that. So there's definitely a lot of content I can put out. I honestly didn't anticipate putting more information out there until I read the comments, and they were super, like I said, they were super encouraging. So just a couple things. Again, just to touch on what I said last time, age is not a factor that's going to affect you in the military. It really isn't. As long as you can PT, as long as you can stay positive, in shape, and not condescend to people who you think are younger than you and maybe not as knowledgeable in certain things, if you can put that aside and kind of forget your resume before you join. It doesn't matter if you're making $10 an hour or if you're making $500 an hour. If you're in the military and you decide to join, you're among peers. So as long as you can kind of have some humility in that regard, that's like really the biggest thing, is just kind of keeping your mouth closed while you hear other people talking about things that you want to interject and tell them why they're wrong, or just kind of school them on things. You just don't do that. Just be among them. And if people do come up to you, which they will because of your age, and have questions for you, then answer those questions, you know. But don't go out of your way to just tell them like, hey, you know, I used to be an executive guy and like I know all the answers, because that's gonna really get you ostracized. So you join to be a part of a team, be a part of a team. And definitely, like I said, if you're in shape, I don't care if you're 40 years old, if you're in shape, you're gonna do well in the military. That's like a phenomenal part of the job, is you get paid to exercise. They pay attention to your body, your physicality. In the corporate world, like a lot of us know, it's sedentary. You sit at a computer, you're hunched over 8 hours a day, you don't move, you pound coffee at your desk. I mean, it's just, there's nothing field oriented. That was the really cool part about joining the military, is I'm off my butt, rucking, out there sweating, getting paid to do that. So if you're anything like me and you were, for whatever reason, you're just a little too ADD at this chapter in your life for a 12-hour desk job, 8-hour desk job, then joining isn't the worst thing you could do. I mean, it's probably the best decision you'll make, because we can always go back to our desk job. Like I said before, we have the muscle memory. We know how to stroke a keyboard and make calls, right? So if you're thinking about it, just jump, take the leap, because I have a lot of friends who are 36 years old and plus who've told me like, hey man, I'm never gonna know if I could have been a good soldier, sailor, pilot, Marine, whatever. I'll never know because I didn't go for it. And they're kicking themselves. And I heard just a couple stories like that, and that scared me, like running into the recruiter's office to go sign up. Because, I don't care if I'm a millionaire someday. If I'm sitting there and I know that I never took a challenge that scared me, like joining the military, then that would suck. So just based on several of your guys' comments, I know that there's a lot of men and women out there who are having that same itch that I had, but that same hesitation because of fear of age. Again, it's a new culture. Culture's different than the corporate world. It totally is. But that's the reason we joined. So it's so encouraging for me to hear you guys tell me that, like, hey, I just needed that extra push to join, and now I feel comfortable doing it. So you're looking at somebody who isn't like the most courageous and bravest, but I did it. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. So keep hitting me with comments. You can DM me if you want. Maybe I'll get an email address out there for you guys. I know you have a lot of questions. And for each of the comments that you gave me on can you make a video about this, I'm curating a list of that. So I'll go ahead and make a few YouTube videos. But for now, I am in Fort Leonard Wood. I'm a second lieutenant. I'm 33 years old. I'm stoked about being in the United States Army. And I definitely look forward to going back into the entrepreneurial, innovative realm, the private sector, but having had a lot of leadership and meeting friends from all around the world, all different cultures. This is like a really cool immersion type experience. Immersive? I think that's the word I'm looking for. So that being said, I'm gonna go now and try to work on this Rubik's Cube. Keep hitting me up with messages, guys. I really love it. And to all of you who did join since I last posted the video, welcome to the family and thank you for your service. Talk to you guys later. Bye.